Welcome to the Summit School District Spotlight. My name is Mikki Grebetz, and I am the Communications Specialist for the district. Today we'll be talking about the Career and Technical Education program here at Summit High School. There's been so many exciting things that have happened in this last year, and the public probably knows about the new construction that has completed here at the high school. Some of those numbers are over 200,000 square feet of renovated spaces. There have been 15 brand new classrooms created, a new gymnasium, a new weight room, and there have been a huge expansion of the career and technical ed classes that they're offering here, which is just so exciting. And so today I'll be talking about this with the principals here at the high school. So to learn more about this, stay tuned. All right, thanks for tuning in. Again, we're going to be talking about the CTE classes here at SHS, and today I'm joined with Principal Drew Adkins and Assistant Principal Doug Blake, who is also the CTE coordinator here at the high school. I know a lot of people have been talking about CTE, but what does that actually mean? What is CTE?
CTE, thanks Mikki, stands for Career and Technical Education. So for many of our viewers, it may be VOTEC rings a bell in some of the days gone by, but really we're focused on preparing kids for the jobs of the future in career and technical education. And really, this is not only a goal for Summit High School and for this team and for this community, but for educational planning statewide. So we began. We're sitting in one of the wings. Many people don't know that the TV studio, SCTV, sits in Summit High School in the southernmost wing. And we're fortunate enough to collaborate with SCTV-10, have kids use it during the day, and then have the TV studio open in the evenings. So one of the things that was very important to Summit Schools and to us was to collaborate with our community partners and prepare kids in real world situations. And this wing was built in 2006 and is really known as the Helen Foote wing, and longtime Culinary Arts teacher Helen Foote. And really video, culinary, and med prep resided here and have resided here really for the last 12 years. So our goal was to expand upon those, and some of the state standards for curriculum in the year 2020 was to have kids graduate with certifications in career readiness. And we put a committee together, 3 or 4 years ago, the Graduation 2020 committee, and really started dreaming about what it might look like in Summit County. And for the folks that are returning to Summit High School who haven't been here in a while, I think it's pretty cool to come through and see all of the, I don't want to talk too much about it because we're going to get into it in this segment, all the cool things that kids are doing with hands-on learning, preparing them to leave Summit High School with not only a certificate in hand, but lots of skills to transition into the workforce or continue their preparation through a technical school or a four-year school.
Great. So you talked about culinary arts and health sciences. What other programs have already been going on here at Summit High School?
You know, we started out and we see the model for success with some of our programs that have been here for a while. Culinary health sciences, they really set the bar for what it means to be a part of this career technical education. And what makes those programs successful are multiple courses, sequential courses, leading up to, as Drew mentioned, industry certification and post-secondary skills and readiness, whether that's moving on to more schooling or jumping right into the workforce. So we've seen those two programs really set the stage for what that means for success. Also, the Community College System of Colorado has set up 6 different career clusters. And so we've been working through the years to not only build courses throughout the school and in those areas, but it helped us articulate exactly where we want to focus career-centered areas. And so those different clusters include business, marketing, public administration. Those are classes that really fit into that structure. Finance, government, marketing, things like that. hospitality, human service, and education. That's where our culinary area started. But we're looking to expand that into tourism, things like that. Health sciences, criminal justice, public safety, skilled trade, technical sciences, construction technology, welding. Moving on to the traditional technological cluster, which is STEM, arts, information technology and design, things like video production, journalism, yearbook, and any of our IT classes. And then finally, the last cluster is agriculture, natural resources, energy, things like that.
Pretty exciting. What classes did you guys develop this year that are new to Summit High School?
Want to take a couple? I'll take a couple.
Sure thing. You start with
Okay.
the big one.
Yeah, I think anybody that takes a tour of the school, there's no doubt one of the impressive rooms here is the ski and bike tech room. And in any of these things, I think it's pretty important. We talked about it earlier, to have these community relationships. We certainly can't do it alone. Obviously, all of these very exciting programs require a substantial amount of money, and Doug can talk later about the Perkins grant and obviously funding from Summit School District and our taxpayer base, but also some of the collaborations with community businesses and support even nationally. So one of those is Project Bike Tech, and I got an email. It's funny, we had successfully piloted Ski Tech really over the last couple of years. Kids getting certified through Christie Sports, through boot fitting and bindings, and then being placed out into the community in some of the shops. And some of our viewers may have students or been in some of those shops where the kids are helping them. So they're earning credit, and then they're also getting paid, which is cool, but they're learning a lot. And we have a lot of donations through a lot of great ski shops and businesses throughout Summit County and state of Colorado. And we thought, gosh, what better pairing than to pair ski with bike and to be the first bike tech program in the state of Colorado. I got an email, and surprisingly, I wasn't the only one thinking that, but there's a company out there, nonprofit, called Project Bike Tech. And they were, we get a lot of email in this day and age, and they were inquiring, almost overlooked it as spam and thought, oh my gosh. We were able to get together, write a grant, and collaboratively fund an $80,000 room, complete with park tools, trek bikes. Big thanks to Vail Resorts being our partner and sponsor in that, and then a lot of other businesses as well who are coming in to do a lot of professional development with kids. But pretty cool, to be able to see kids from all walks in programs like that and really coming together in a true melting pot of, the kid who's going to the Ivy League school, the kid who's going, we'll talk about this in other programs too. I think Doug would echo the fact that that's across the board in CTE program. It doesn't look like the VOTEC of yesteryear, even though, we might categorize it a little bit that way. These are skills that kids need and want to have, and whether that's a hobby or whether it's truly going to be their profession, it's pretty neat. But ski and bike tech are, in a Summit County community that's run on those industries really as a part of our tourism-based recreational business. It's phenomenal. And of course, in all these, you have to have the right people, and we can talk about that too. Another one I'll highlight is, another space. So we turned our weight room into those. So we have, everything from pull down, electrical to, you name it, in these spaces. They're really state of the art and cool. Kids are jazzed. Welding, we turned an art room into a welding room, a full-blown welding room with welding bays. And the kids are absolutely just, it looks like something, if you go in there, it looks like something out of a kind of a reality TV show where they come together and they group up and they say, we're making this for so-and-so today. I was in there the other day and they were making some yard art for someone, but they do everything from artistic things to real, spot welds, to just any kind of welding you could imagine. They're going to get certifications out of that, and certainly in that industry, there's no lack of need. But those are two very exciting, really new programs. I'll let Doug talk about a couple others, and certainly we have some long-standing successful programs where kids are coming out with serious college credit, and then also well on their way to degrees, associates, or for a year, and certifications. But don't know if you want to highlight some of the others. We can just go back and forth, Doug.
Really, when we start really developing these different programs and trying to find what's next and what's going to be most successful here at the school, it's looking at a few different things. It's looking at community needs, and obviously it's important to look at what exactly the economic needs are within Summit County and beyond in the state. But then it's also finding what kids are into, what kids are passionate about, what they care about, and what's going to take them to that next level. And so we're getting creative in the development of these programs. Drew just talked about our ski and bike tech programs. When you talk to the state of Colorado and you bring up a skier or a bike technician, they have no language or no pathway dedicated to those things. So we're having to get a little creative in finding out what program that actually fits in. So things like our business and management program. Now you can take a business entrepreneurship class, you can take a ski tech class, bike tech class, and then a graphic design class, and you're leaving here ready to go start your own business and really have that new model for success in this community. Additionally, our Culinary Arts program is growing, and we have so many great partners with the Summit County Restaurant Association, Breck Restaurant Association, coming in here, mentoring our kids, getting them ready for competitions, things like that. We're expanding that. Number one industry here in the community is hospitality. Mm-hmm. And so whether it's building that next step to resort management and hospitality industry, that's really what we're focused on, is how can our school now be a hub for future generations of Summit County economics and workers. Drew mentioned the different aspects of skilled trades, technical sciences. Where can we grow with that? Welding to construction tech. We're certainly looking for electricians, different engineering opportunities and things like that. Public safety, we have our school resource officer, Wanda Wilkerson, teaching Intro to Criminal Justice. You walk into this class, kids are getting fingerprinted. They're not in trouble. They're simply just learning how to fingerprint, how to be a part of that career. Where does that one grow? Kids can also take a CMC, emergency medical responder. They're getting certified as EMRs, and they can get a wilderness first aid. What next? Fire safety, development of kind of that public safety need in this community. Finally, the last thing, we see it year in and year out, educators. And so education and training, we have early childhood education programs, kids walking around carrying digital babies that are crying and going off at different times. Beyond that, education needs teachers all around. So whether that's primary, secondary, we're looking to feed into those different programs. And finally, outdoor education. And that's kind of our next and newest pathway. We're getting ready to build brand new climbing wall and all sorts of cool stuff for outdoor education, and pair that with the wilderness first aid, and you have a great pathway.
What do you need to get this outdoor education program going?
No matter what the program, we're always looking for some different collaborative efforts with our community. It's great. Students start out, they take a class, and the old adage that it's just as beneficial for a kid to take one of these career classes and realize how much they hate it as much as they fall in love with it, because you're not spending money or time kind of exploring a career. You get that done now before it's big money in college. But we want kids identifying with a pathway and kind of exploring within that area, and eventually earning some sort of industry certification, moving on to an internship opportunity, going out into the community, getting some of that on-the-job experience, and really getting set up for that next step post-secondary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think, we have a lot of community conversations about, gosh, we need plumbers, we need electricians, and we absolutely do. Just coming off of a building project, 200,000 square feet, gosh, $30 million here. Thank you, Summit County community. It's beautiful. If you haven't checked it out, come see it. But I think one of the challenges, not a problem, is really finding the individuals who are certified. We've been fortunate to have people who are passionate about these things, but we didn't come in with a certified welder and hire a certified welder. We had a Spanish teacher who turned into a certified welder because he had a love for it, and then sent him to school. Same thing with the bike technician. we sent Mr. Lucky to a summer-long BMI, Bicycle Mechanics Institute, in Colorado Springs, and but it takes some funding, it takes some people that are interested, and it takes some of those partnerships. And I think the Summit County community has been great, but absolutely as we go into gosh, why don't we have an auto tech? Auto tech is a huge amount of money, and schools are basing their whole foundation, everything they have into just a technical auto shop. So today's day and age of having an auto shop in a school, unlike 40 years ago, is very different. That's a room full of computers and hundreds of thousands of dollars, and it's more likely that we would partner with a dealership or some sort of business that's already doing that, looking for employees, having kids transition and work in those, gain credit, internship, obviously, hopefully mutually beneficial for the business and for the student here, rather than send a kid to Pick and Tech or something like that, or WyoTech in Wyoming, but getting them a good start. And same with plumbing and construction tech. We do run a construction tech program, but again, trying to get those individuals in here who are passionate about kids and also have the time really to cut away from what's paying the bills as a contractor, I think is sometimes a challenge. But there's no, we have poured every bit of extra FTE, which in educational language is our funding for personnel and sections, into career and technical education. And I think our community would be really impressed with the 21st century learning that's happening here, where kids get true skills. And then any opportunity we have, those of you that have been in here in the morning, stop by. We were serving coffee and smoothies and out of our grab and go. And we saw that originally as an opportunity to support kids who are running in, grabbing breakfast, or have a flexible schedule as seniors, taking classes at CMC or working and then getting something to eat. What it turned out as is a career technical opportunity in hospitality, which with an economy with less than 1% unemployment, we're now employing our kids to run that out of the hospitality program. It's an arm of business and hospitality. And we're in there serving smoothies, coffee, espresso, everything else in the morning. But it's really a good, honestly, a great CTE pathway for our kids too. So something that came out of a need is a great opportunity for all of us. But as Doug mentioned, I think, really what we're trying to do, MedPrep was a great example with emergency certifying kids as CNAs, certified nursing assistants, but then, the WFR, the Wilderness First Responder, the EMR, a lot of those really looking at how do we get kids their EMT in an area certainly like ours. That is the largest area. So people often ask, what do kids really want? We start out with kids in their freshman year and they create a 4-year plan called an ICAP, an Individualized Career and Academic Plan. And then we have them in a pathway, and that pathway really allows them to select classes. Summit High School now has 1,000 students. For many of our viewers, they'll go, oh my gosh, Drew, I remember it was 500, and growing to 1,400 over the next 5 years. And when we're looking at that, how do we offer enough classes with enough diversity? It's still a small town high school, but one that provides really avenues to really anywhere that kids' dreams would take them. And that's our goal, and the bar is set high by Summit County, and we feel like we can follow through with that. But really looking at where our students, Doug mentioned this, what are they aspiring to take? We have a master schedule that is student driven. So as students talk about, gosh, I'd really like to take this class. Those are the classes that we offer. So pretty exciting, I think, as we look to the future of what CTE can offer. The sky's the limit, and I think we probably have more dreams than we have financial opportunity to make it happen sometimes. But I think we're well on our way to satisfying 2020 requirements and really fueling those dreams of students as they're coming through.
I think that's really exciting. You guys are the workforce readiness, I think you guys have talked about quite a bit, and preparing our students to be successful in this community and to stay here and to be lifelong Summit County residents, I think is really cool. I know you also talked about post-secondary education. What does that look like for some of our students?
Really, the line between post-secondary and what we're doing here day to day is blurred now. We had over 3,000 college credits last year. Here at Summit High School, kids leaving with over 3,000 college credits. It's a lot. Thank you to our partnership with Colorado Mountain College. We work with Metropolitan State University, all sorts of different things. But ultimately, that's the goal. Our students going up through the classes and taking some of those higher academic courses, no matter what their passions are, what their strengths are, challenging students at the high school level to achieve at that post-secondary level. And so you'll see from some of the different diagrams we have, all of our programs have an opportunity to earn college credit. And that's what post-secondary readiness means, not only earning that credit, but those experiences. And we can talk all the high-level talk and all these great things. You really don't see the benefit of career and technical education until you look at the kids and see them in action in these amazing workspaces. And it doesn't matter if you're culinary or if you're welding or here in this studio. Great equipment that provides that on-the-job experience of today. We're not using equipment from 10, 15 years ago and saying, okay, we're CTE, we're getting you ready for a career, but all this equipment is obsolete. We're using today's equipment, teaching kids today's skills, and they love it. This is what you see kids running down to classes of welding and video tech and things like that. So,
yeah, I think I'd piggyback on that and say, one of the foundational elements of Vision 2020 is really empowering student-centered learning, and really we talk about as an IB school and inquiry-based learning and preparing students for the jobs of the future. I think that's our responsibility, and kids are passionate about that. And to see the excitement of what hands-on learning really can do. If you walk into Summit High School now, you're not going to see kids opening textbooks. Certainly in math class, looks like math class of yesteryear. However, their own Chromebooks and engaged in activities and hopefully applied learning. But it really is. I think it's fun to see kids when we go into these classes. And you ask kids, "Gosh, how's this going? Are you enjoying it?" "This is my favorite class." And again, that's all walks of life. That's genders, guys, girls, kids. Again, I said earlier, going to Ivy League schools or straight into industry. It's cool to see that collaboration. When you see kids welding, you can't typecast those kids at all. Quite honestly, it's a virtual melting pot. But pretty exciting, I think, to see also what they can offer. The Metro State credit. We're looking to to piggyback a little bit more on that question about secondary, post-secondary credits. Really, Doug and I, our partners with CMC, are really looking at where do our standards align with post-secondary standards, and if you're already achieving or asking kids to perform at that level, whether that's in English class or whether that's in culinary arts or med prep or outdoor education, then why wouldn't we give them that college credit? And certainly that's a big push in Colorado, nationwide, but absolutely here at the forefront here at Summit High School. Not only is that a financial benefit for our families, if your child is leaving with 12 credits, 15 credits, which is not unheard of here in all realms, but also in preparation. So when we talk about preparing kids, well, why not start in high school at the college level expectation? And that occurs in the technical areas as well.
Okay, great. Well, thank you both for your dedication to our students and helping them succeed. It couldn't have been done with both of your hard work. And I know the students here really appreciate it. They're excited about the classes, which is kind of the coolest part, is getting kids psyched to come to school every day and then get these great benefits from it in the future.
Yeah. We've been really excited and honestly incredibly grateful to our Summit County community for your support, really, of Mill and Bond. That's what makes this all happen, and we couldn't do it without your support. And even if you're coming by next year, I forgot to mention we're opening a brand new STEM science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. We're going to throw the A in there for the arts, the STEAM wing, where robotics. We've got multiple state champions in building solar roller little cars that we raced. We just set the record, a world record, I think it was, for solar roller cars last spring. So pretty fun stuff. It's still on the horizon. So some people ask, what's to come? What's next? And I think some of those CNC router, robotics, laser engraver things that we already have in play, but in a larger STEM environment. People talk about maker spaces. All of our CTE, career and technical spaces, are maker spaces. So I really would ask that, gosh, if this is something that grabbed your attention late at night as you were cruising, surfing through the channels, and caught us, and you have any interest, please stop by if you have some of these skills or you're interested in getting involved. Doug and I can certainly walk you through what that means to become certified and or just be a contributor, philanthropically, financially, or with your skills from time to time. Our kids are extremely excited, and it just makes it even more valuable when our community is invested and really has a hand in that. So thanks, Mikki. Thanks, Brad, for having us on SCTV.
Yeah.
And we'd love to see you at SHS. Go Green Machine.
Thanks.